to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this hypnosis session, you're going to be listening to hypnosis for not just stress, but we're talking extreme stress. I was working with a client that had a very, very high-level job, and with that came very high-level responsibilities and lots of demands. A useful way of defining stress, you can't just say it's demanding. It has to be demanding alongside the resources. You have the resources on one side and the demands on the other. And if demands are high, but you feel really resourceful, generally this is what's called a flow state. So you feel really resourceful and you get lots of things done, and that's really good. But what can happen is if the demands exceed the resources, that can feel very, very stressful. And if they exceed it by a lot, that can actually feel overwhelming. And sometimes that amount of stress can lead to health issues or lack of sleep, which then make the person even less resourceful, which then feels even more demanding. And if that then links to people thinking about, what if I lose my job? What if this happens? That can then increase anxiety by thinking about what can go wrong, which increases the demands even more. So it can feel like a cycle. It can feel like a vicious cycle where one thing feeds on the other, feeds on the other. And the client I was working with did have genuine health issues, but also the demands of a very demanding role. They even perceived things like Christmas as demands. It was have to buy presents, have to go to certain places, and that felt draining. So what you're going to hear in this is framing the whole thing in a way that feels more based on choice and empowerment, and giving it meanings that are going to be more conducive to a calmer, more relaxed nervous system. And sometimes that comes from contrast or comparison or linking a new emotion. One of the key things that can lead to stress, by the way, is when people feel obligated. And the clue to obligation is using the word have to. I have to do this. And when you feel obligated, that can then feel like you're coerced or forced or trapped. That feels less like it's a choice. If you say, I get to do this, it can feel very different. A lot of people will say, I have to go to work. I'm stuck in this job. Even this client said that the job is killing them. Now, none of those things are objectively true. What's actually true is that people are choosing to be in a particular job. Anyone could quit. It just comes with consequences. How do you pay the bills? But it feels very different from saying, I'm stuck in this job that I hate, to I'm choosing to work in this place for now. And that may sound like a very subtle shift, but from a biochemical and an autonomic nervous system response, that's a big difference. One feels like you're in prison, and the other feels like you're just choosing to do something because it's in your own interest. And that's a very calm nervous system on the second, and a very stressed nervous system in the first. So I appreciate I've given a bit of a detailed explanation as to what's happening in this hypnosis session. I think anyone with severe stress will benefit from this because it's very much about calming down the nervous system. But if you're stressed about Christmas, or if you hate where you work right now, whether or not you're planning on being self-employed or a consultant is immaterial. There's lots of suggestions here that are quite empowering and useful and conducive to improving health. That said, it was created for an individual. Some of these suggestions are incredibly specific to the client that I was working on and may not be at all relevant for you. So ignore any suggestions that aren't relevant, double down on the ones that are. And at the same time, if you like the idea of a bespoke session where you're working with me directly so we can actually build the session and you experience that live with me, there will be a link in the description, in the show notes, where you can schedule a completely free consultation call with me. For now, though, you might actually get some value from this session. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a wonderful feeling of calm relaxation. And as you exhale, feel a wonderful feeling of release, like a pressure valve, just allowing stored up tension, stress, worries to be released in every outward breath. That's it. Breathing in calm relaxation and releasing as you extend that outward breath for longer than it would normally be. And when you breathe in for deeper, so much so that each breath takes you deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And maybe you could imagine one of those old pressure cookers, or perhaps an old-fashioned steam engine. And I want you to get a sense that for a while now, all of these demands and all of these thoughts and all of these worries feel like they're all building up. And just imagine that steam engine or pressure cooker, if it didn't have that release valve, all that pressure would start causing problems. And I want you to get a sense that now, here, in this moment, give permission to release. Imagine on your outward breath, seeing something dark or shadowy leaving your body as you exhale. And then imagine a resourceful healing color that you breathe in through your nose or your mouth, breathing in what your body needs and exhaling all of these stresses, worries, but also any disempowering beliefs. All it takes is a false belief, believed to be true, to completely change biochemistry. If you felt with certainty that your life is in danger, your body would act as if that is true. And even if it's just a turn of phrase, thinking or believing that your job is killing you gives a problem that your unconscious is trying to solve. I want you to think of the face of a child, maybe 3-4 years old, how excited they were at the idea of Santa Claus putting a carrot out for a reindeer, a mince pie for Santa, and the excitement was real, even if the underlying belief behind it was never true. And if that's true for a child, that could be true for you. You might be having real anxieties, real worries, real feelings of stress based on a belief that isn't even true. Therefore, if we change just one belief, what if this house of cards that's been affecting your health all comes crumbling down? Because sometimes if people are stressed, they don't sleep well. They feel less resourceful the next day. Small things like buying a Christmas present feels like a big deal. And the stress feeds on stress. And let's start to reverse that vicious cycle. Because when you feel more resourceful, you start seeing the wood for the trees. And when you start evaluating what's real and what's just imagined, everything feels less overwhelming. And when things feel less overwhelming, you start thinking of all of those things you can do to improve your health even more. 2 or 3 quick phone calls that might find a specialist that you need. Or maybe treating buying Christmas presents or social occasions as things that recharge your batteries, not drain it. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to get a sense that you're feeling more hopeful, feeling more resourceful, feeling like you have more options to move things in the very direction that you desire. I want you to get a sense that you are awakening the part of your nervous system that knows how to rest, heal, and relax. In fact, the slower you breathe and the longer that outward breath, the more you are signaling to your brain, your biology, and your unconscious that you are safe to relax and heal. As you breathe out, just imagine the out-breath of switching off the alarms that have been warning and blaring for too long. And now imagine yourself floating, as if your body is held by warm, steady water, supported without effort, your muscles softening, your chest loosening any tension, and your mind beginning to drift into that familiar trance where clarity starts to replace pressure and stress. And as you float, I wonder if you could imagine a dial in front of you, the dial of your nervous system from 0 to 10. And I want you to see that your nervous system is in the red zone, perhaps an 8, a 9, or even a 10. And I want you to imagine on each outward breath, as you release more of that tension, pressure, that number comes down. Maybe getting to an 8 or a 7. Each outward breath takes it one number downwards. 7 goes to 6. 6 goes to 5. And feel your body releasing, relaxing with each outward breath. 5 goes to 4 and then 4 to 3. And maybe you don't want it all the way at one. Maybe you want some pressure, some tension to ensure you do what needs to be done. But I want you to feel you've dialed it all the way down, at least for now. Right now, calm, relaxation is the dominant signal in your body. Remind yourself you're just a few phone calls away from solving and resolving what would be an unknown issue had you not discovered it. I want you to feel that that is a good thing. It's good that you know, and it's good that the solution is something within your control. And I wonder for just how many problems and demands in every area of your life. I wonder for how many of those that the solutions already exist. People you can delegate, things you can prioritize, support you can use. And every breath you take in this calm state brings your mind closer to the resourceful version of you. That version of you who handles what needs to be handled one step at a time. And certainly not all at once. Because you can't do it all at once. Do what you can, the best you can, trusting that your future self will deal with future problems as you allow your current self to deal with current demands. And just allow your mind to drift toward Christmas. And allow your unconscious to give it a new narrative, a new way of thinking about it. Some people think of Christmas as a list of things to do, places to be, things that are just a drain of time, energy, and emotion. But some people look at it as a magical time, full of wonder, excitement, connection, and joy. And just allow your unconscious to reactivate that part of you where Christmas would be something that charges your batteries, not drains it. Something you get to do, not an obligation you have to do. And I want you to think perhaps of just one person that would love to be able to give presents or receive them, share a meal with close ones, and yet can't. And sometimes contrast is all you need to feel grateful, to feel privileged, to feel that it's something you choose to do, not have to do. Some people think of an incredible vacation as a list of itineraries and problems and situations, and other people treat a vacation as something that really charges the batteries. And whatever area of your life that thing charges your batteries, just allow the neural plasticity in your brain to map that feeling and apply it to Christmas. And maybe Maybe there's already things that make you feel that way, that become the thin end of the wedge that expands. Maybe the joy on someone's face when they open a present that you've chosen for them. Think of that moment, perhaps from the past, and allow that feeling to expand. Feel it expanding, warmth, connection, something to appreciate. So many people spend Christmas alone, and you are not one of them. So allow that gratitude and appreciation to release even more of those demands pulling on your nervous system. And as it's released, feel lighter, more relaxed. These moments could remind you that you're supported, connected, and not isolated. So allow it to recharge you from the inside, like plugging your emotional batteries into a source of warmth. And now move your mind naturally to work. For a while, you feel like you've been like a rat in a cage with no way out. Or perhaps trapped, stuck, secured by those golden handcuffs. At one point, you even believed that the job is killing you. And now you know that's not true. I want you to replace all other beliefs with one, that you are choosing to work there for now. That ensures your nervous system knows that it is a choice, not a trap, not an obligation. And the for now tells your unconscious that it is temporary, and when situations change, you can leave. So say this to yourself: I am choosing to work here for now. Say it internally, feel the difference, because choice creates control, and control creates agency, and agency dissolves helplessness. So feel that shift. And what if you are just a few weeks from improving health with less pain? And maybe that comes from thinking differently about your life. Maybe it comes from acupuncture, finding the right combination of foods to eat in your diet, or just resolving that issue in your home. You don't know which one or combination of things will work. Just believe that something will, and when it does, it creates an option without an obligation. An option to keep the security and gain the freedom. To have a future where you're doing things for yourself with autonomy and confidence. I want you to think that there's just two things necessary to escape that cage, escape that maze, to unlock the handcuffs. Security of future work, but for yourself, and clues that your health is improving. This is a winnable game, not years from now, but perhaps weeks from now. And when you operate from choice, the whole board changes. And I want you to feel those old loops of learned helplessness breaking apart at their weakest points. Feel a rising sense of resourcefulness, filling that space where fear and insecurity and feeling trapped and stuck used to live. In fact, feel the internal posture shift from "I'm trapped" to something more empowering, like "I'm building my exit with clarity and control." Some people believe that where focus goes, energy flows. And if your focus is on resentment, being stuck, trapped, no options, imagine how your body would respond to that perception. But when you start to feel that there's things you can do to lower your stress, to increase resourcefulness and decrease demands, and I want you to start thinking of a future where you see yourself healthy, your digestive system is calm, your body stable, more choices with foods, and breathing deeply without effort, clear-eyed and confident. Imagine yourself in just a few months' time, working for yourself, consulting on your terms, earning on your terms, living with both security and autonomy. And you're not running from your job, just evolving it into the next phase. And you're building that bridge step by step. And hold that version of you in front of you that came out the other side lighter, calmer, stronger, even more capable. And allow your unconscious to lock it in like the destination on a sat-nav. Because this is now the direction that you are moving towards. Take one more slow breath and feel that that pressure cooker, that steam engine, is now completely released all of that pressure. The arrow back in the green zone. And imagine yourself floating all the way back to the present, but with more of a sense of hope, optimism, and that the game is most definitely winnable. Take a deep breath in through your eyes and out. Just release everything from your eyelids to your jaw, your chest all the way down to your gut, all the way down to your toes. That's it. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, start to calibrate with the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.